So, comrades, mind if I sit here with you at the fire while I rest a bit? Thank you. I've just been traveling the tunnels. It's good to see some light and some people, you know. Have I heard anything in the tunnels? Bad news? No, you know, it's like always, it's always crazy in the tunnels, you know. Yeah, but nothing special lately. Yes, but you know, I did hear a story which was crazy. Story about a young lad from the VDN Cha station. You know where they make this good mushroom tea. Yeah, you want to hear the story? While we wait at the fire and warm ourselves a bit? So you know, over at the VDN Cha station, you know that's right by the botanical garden, they have these problems with these kind of creatures, you know. They call them the dark ones. They come from the surface. And you know, they come down to the tunnels, to the station, and no normal gun can stop them. You need a whole lot of ammo to keep them away from the station, you know. That's where this Artyom came from. Now, you know, he was born on the surface, but he lives in the metro now. So this one day, or, you know, one night, Artyom meets this guy, Hunter. His strange name, but he meets this guy, Hunter, and he's on a mission, but he doesn't say what it is. So one day, or rather, you know, one night, Artyom meets this guy, Hunter, and they start talking. And before you know it, Hunter is like, you know, if I'm not back from my mission in 2 days, something might go wrong. If I'm not back, can you go to the police and find this guy named Melnik and give him this bullet casing from me and tell him it's from Hunter? And you know, Artyom, he's a young guy, he's around 20, he's been living at the station for most of his life, so he wants to prove himself and he wants to experience the metro and the tunnels and the stations. He wants to see these palaces underground that everybody talks about. So he says yes. And what can I say? 2 days later, he has to travel because Hunter has not returned. So Artyom travels first to this station, Prospect Mira, with a group from his home station. And he finds another guy to get him into the direction of the police, because, you know, the police is like at the other end of the ring almost. So he has a long way to go, and Artyom doesn't know the metro. So he finds this guy, Bourbon, and they go in the direction of Kitai-Gorod. But, you know, strange things happen in the tunnel. And this Bourbon guy, he goes mad and he dies and he starts talking crazy right before, and you don't know what's going on, but Artyom, he's not affected. So he comes to Kitai-Gorod, and it's a big station. It's very different from what he knows from home. But Kitai-Gorod, you know, that's a station that is owned by bandits, by gangs. So, of course, because Artyom he's young, he doesn't know the metro, he gets caught by the fascists. You've heard about the fascists, right? These blonde, tall guys who think they are better than others for some reason or other. I don't know, it's bullshit. But he gets caught by them, and they want to kill him. So, you know, Artyom's journey is not beginning very good. It's, I don't know, the lad is naive. He has a lot of luck, but it seems like his luck ran out quite quickly, huh? Yes, yes. So anyway, he's hanged by the fascists, but he's rescued, of course, by some communists, because who else would want to pick up a fight with the fascists, but the communists. So he's rescued by them, and they take them with him to another station so he can go back to the ring and try to get to the police. But you know, Artyom has more bad luck and more good luck. Is crazy. But before you know it, he does reach the police. I don't think he believed it himself. I heard that he experienced some crazy shit going on. And you know, right before he came to the police, he went alone into the tunnel, which is never go alone into the tunnel. You know that's the first thing you learn down here. So anyway, the last part to the police, Artyom goes alone into the tunnel. Stupid. And he starts to hear something behind him, an echo. Or is it someone following him? He is not sure, but you should never turn around in the tunnel because you don't know what's there. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's just your own madness. So he tries to just walk on, but the echo is coming nearer. So apparently there is someone. So Artyom doesn't know what to do. He starts going crazy. He starts to lose his mind, just like so many other people have in the metro. I'm glad I'm not one of them yet. So Artyom kind of loses it, and he doesn't know what to do, and then suddenly a voice whispers to him, "Don't go. Wait for a bit." Artyom doesn't know who this voice is, but sometimes it's okay to listen to it. So he waits. And then when he comes to the police, something has happened. There was a fight. So it's good he waited. But he barely makes it. He's almost dead and crazy, and I don't know how he did it. So Artyom is in the police, and he finds the guy in Melnik. And it turns out Melnik, he's a stalker. You know what stalkers are, don't you? No, you don't know it? The stalker is one of the guys who goes upstairs to the surface. Can you imagine the surface? And they go there and they get like fuel and wood and all the things that we need down here as long as they are up there. So this guy Melnik, he is one of them. He knows the surface, and they have these suits on them because there's radiation, so you cannot just go up. They have gas masks and they have helmets and they have guns and everything because, you know, up there is life. It's just not human life anymore. It is things that have changed, creatures that have evolved after the war. And in the police, you know, they are rich there. So the stalkers, they even go upstairs to get books. They have books. Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine? Books. They go to the surface, to the danger, to get books. It is crazy. I almost don't believe it, you know. But then again, crazy things are happening in the metro, and maybe some people are so rich that they can have books. And I kind of want to believe that we have some culture left down here, even here. So Artyom, he starts talking to Melnik and also to another lad, Danila, who is one of the people concerned with books and culture. Anyway, the book people, they are very interested and very curious why Artyom has survived all the way alone in the tunnel. Why didn't he go mad? Why was he able to fight off the voices and fight off the madness? What has happened? What is this lad? Is he something special? So they send him on a mission to go upstairs to the surface? And Artyom, he says yes. So can you imagine going up to the surface? He has to put on all this armor, all this gas mask and all this stuff. And he goes up with some stalkers to go to the big library, the Lenin library, to the surface. Can you imagine? I mean, we spend all our lives in this tunnel, and we always have these walls around us and all this earth above us that kind of protects us from the radiation and from all the things up there. Can you imagine what it must be like to have nothing but the heaven above you and stars and clouds? Oh. You don't have protection above you, you have just nothing, air. And imagine in the day, the sun must be so bright. I heard that the sun is so bright that we couldn't even see, we would go blind. The sun is too strong for us because we are accustomed to live here. But Artyom, he wants to experience that. That must be so crazy. I cannot imagine going upstairs. Can you imagine? No. No, I wouldn't give up these walls. They are dirty and they are narrow, but they are safer than up there. So Artyom goes upstairs to the surface with Melnik and other stalkers, and also with Danila, because the thing is, Artyom has to find a book in the big library. Do you know how many books there are? I don't even know the number for that. He has to find one book. He needs help from Danila, because maybe Danila knows where to go and where to look. But you know what else is up there? The Kreml. And if there's one thing that I heard that you should never ever do, is look at it. Because the stars on the towers of the Kreml, they talk to you. They try to attract you, and you cannot look any other way. And there is something in the Kreml. I don't know what it is. I have only heard the rumors. But it's not good. It's a biological weapon or some demonic creature, or maybe both. So don't ever look there. And you know what's the first thing Artyom does when he comes to the surface? He looks at the Kreml to check if it's really dangerous. Yeah, I know. Stupid, right? But he's young, so... But you know, this kind of stupidity, that can get you dead. Especially on the surface. Yeah. So Artyom sees the sky above him. Oh, I cannot even imagine. I want to crouch deeper into the tunnel just thinking about sky and nothing but sky above me. Nothing that protects me against the mutants. But they enter the library and they look for this book. But the thing is, they are not alone in this building. There are also librarians in a library, of course. And the librarians, they don't like noise. And they come if they see that you are there. And they try to kill you so that you don't make any noise anymore. And that you don't disturb them. So Artyom and Melnik and the others, they try to sneak through the library and they try to find the book, but where to look? The building is so big. And anyway, they have to find the book. That's the most important thing. They only have the night. They have to be downstairs before dawn, because otherwise they cannot see, but everybody else, they can move up there. And in the day, you are dead. If you are up there, you are dead, if the sun is out. So Artyom and Danila, they go look for the book in the magazine, but something happens. And Danila, he doesn't make it. The thing is, the problem is that Artyom in the end, he doesn't find the book that the guys downstairs want to have. So he cannot go back to the police. It's not possible. And Melnik says to Artyom, you cannot go back. They will kill you because you haven't fulfilled their mission, and also one of their people died upstairs. How are you gonna explain that, right? So Melnik tells Artyom, what you do is you go to Smolenskaya. That is 2 stations away from here. Because the next station, there are mutants. Don't go there, but go to Smolenskaya, and you have to be there before dawn because otherwise you are dead meat. And Melnik, he says, I go downstairs, I deliver my friend to the hospital, and then I come to Smolenskaya, and then we meet there. But you have to be there before dawn, otherwise you won't make it. He tells Artyom the way, what way to go, and then they part. And now Artyom has to go through Moscow on his own, upstairs. And there are things there, things that try to hunt him, things that follow him, things that smell that he is fresh meat. He is an intruder from downstairs. So he has to make his way through this destroyed city. And you know, the buildings, they are broken. They are like rotten teeth standing up from the ground. And he goes and goes, but there are animals or things following him, and they are grouping up to kill him. So he has to go into a building, although that's very dangerous, and Melnik told him not to do that, whatever happens, because in the building it's so easy to kill you. But he goes into the building to flee from those things. So he sees how the people upstairs lived before. And he finds an apartment, a place that seems strangely familiar. And he starts to wonder, have I been there before? Isn't that a thought that many of the older people also have? This imagination of coming back upstairs and finding your home, your old home, that is just like you've left it, as if you've just gone out to get food and then you return back 30 years later. It must be a crazy feeling. So Artyom, he finds a photograph. Maybe it's himself. The back says Artyomka, 3 years. And when he was 3, Artyom was still living on the surface. It was shortly before they came downstairs. So what must it be like to come back home and see that everything is there, but also everything is different? So you can imagine how Artyom wastes his time there, in his home, maybe his home, I'm not sure. But he wastes his time, and you know, the clock is ticking. Although time, you know, is not important, but dawn is coming. Dawn is coming no matter if you have watches or not. So he has to hurry. He has to run all the way to Smolenskaya, and he's not sure where to run. He hasn't been upstairs. And the city, it must have been so beautiful before. All the buildings, the big streets, the cars, Can you imagine cars that have fuel to drive? But Artyom has to run now because Don is coming and he's being chased by these things. So Artyom gets to Smolenskaya and there's Melnik. And they travel together. Because Melnik, he's a good guy, and I think maybe he wants to know what's up with Hunter, with his colleague. So Melnik and Artyom travel together to Kievskaya. And that is another one of those places where you might have heard the rumors. There are people missing there. There are people disappearing there. And people are starting to flee from the station. It's one of the ring stations, so it should be a prosper one. It should be a good one. You can travel a lot, but no. At Kievskaya, people are afraid. And I've heard that if you play music into the pipes that run there, at some places, the music comes back to you. So there is something on the other side of that tunnel, but the tunnel, it's broken. It doesn't exist anymore. You cannot go through. But Artyom, he looks for the children who have gone missing. So he goes through the tunnel. He goes to the other side. He finds a way. And then he's captured because there are people there who don't like intruders either. Nobody likes intruders in the metro, right? You never know who it is. And in that case, it's the people, they have this kind of strange religion about a big worm that has made the earth and that has made the metro. But the thing is, Melnik, he comes and rescues Artyom because, you know, Melnik knows his way around. And they find the way into the Metro 2. Have you heard that there's a Metro 2, another metro system that they started building? Yes. It's not a rumor, it really exists. So they find their way into the Metro 2, and Melnik, he also finds out something else. There is a possible way to fight off the Dark Ones at Artyom station and to rescue the metro. Because, you know, if you have intruders from upstairs who come into one station, they will flood the whole metro, you know. And Melnik, he has found out that there are missiles in a depot at Mayakovskaya. But not the Mayakovskaya we know, the one in the other metro. So he says, we go there, we find the missiles, and then we kill the Dark Ones at your station. So they go through the metro too, but here's the catch. They have to go through the one place where you never want to be. They have to go through the Kremlin. I don't even know where to start what I've heard in the story. It's crazy. In the Kremlin, something is living down there. Something. I don't know what it is. It's a kind of mass that is on the deepest level. But if you go to the station, you cannot trust your mind. And the mass, it can grow, and it can move, and it can come to you, and it can flood the whole station. So you have to climb up onto some trains. You have to find something so that the mass won't kill you. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. And you know, in this group, Melnik is the only one who understands that if you don't think anything, the mass will do the thinking for you, and it will enter your thoughts and your feelings, and it will drive you mad, and then it will kill you. So Melnik tries to get the attention of his group, and he screams at them and he says, think something, say something, you have to speak. But it's not before the little child, Oleg, he jumps into the mass because he doesn't get the game. He doesn't understand what to do. And he jumps into the mass and he dies. But that wakes up the group, so they manage to get the mass to go back into the lower levels so that they can go away from the station. I don't know how they did this. It sounds too crazy. But they can flee from the Kremlin, but the price they pay is high. So many people have already died on Artyom's way. How did he make it? How did everybody else die? And now this little boy. So they go, and Artyom and one of the other stalkers from the group, Ulman, they go to here, to Prospect Mira, to get to the botanical garden, because at the botanical garden, you know, near there is the TV tower thing, and you have a good view from there. So Hunter says, we go get the missiles, and you go to the botanical garden, and then you give us the position if you see something where the dark ones come from, and then we fire the missiles to that point. So Artyom and Ulman, they travel back to here, to Prospect Mira, but they travel via the ring station, so it's much faster than what we usually do, going through the tunnels by foot and trying not to go crazy. So Artyom, he realizes he has been away from home so long, and he has heard that the situation at his station, it got worse and worse and worse, and now they try to destroy the tunnel to fight off the dark ones, because the dark ones have gotten stronger while Artyom was away. So Artyom, he goes to his home station because he has to see his people one last time. He wants to see his home one last time before it's too late. And he meets on the surface at his station with Ulman. And Ulman, he got a car and they meet there. And then they go to the botanical garden. So they go to the TV tower and they go upstairs. 15 minutes, 20 minutes upstairs. Can you imagine going upstairs for that long? I cannot imagine going downstairs for that long, but they go up. And they have to be there early enough so that Melnik can reach them. And then when they are upstairs, they see all of Moscow before them. The whole city, with all its destroyed beauty, is lying at their feet. And they see that in the botanical garden, there is something growing, and the dark ones, they come out from there. So Artyom, he's the only one who has seen the dark ones before because they were at his station, and he's been dreaming about them. He's been having the same kind of dream, but he didn't tell anybody because what are dreams? Come on, you cannot trust your dreams. But he tried to understand something in the dreams. And Ulman, he's giving the position of that thing in the botanical garden to Melnik so that they can fire the missiles. And then Artyom, he's the only one who understands. The dark ones, they were never our enemies. They were the next life form, the life form that could live on the surface, the life form that tried to communicate with us, that tried to establish a contact with us barbaric humans who destroyed everything on the world with nuclear weapons, and then we go into the metro like rats into their holes to survive there. And then we try to kill them off when they come downstairs to maybe teach us how to live, how to adapt to the new world. And Artyom understands that, finally. That's what he's been dreaming about. That's what the thing with the Dark Ones is. But it's too late. The missiles come and they destroy everything. Again, you have heard the phrase, history repeats itself. They never wanted to hurt us. They wanted to talk to us. But how can you talk if you don't speak the same language? But we humans, you know, we are a brutal race. So what can Artyom do but go back, come back down here and continue to live in this strange world that we call our home? That was my story. Isn't it crazy the things that go on down here? You know, you think it's just a metro system of one city, but no, it's a whole world to explore. Yes, I will continue my journey now. If you go in the direction of Kitai-Gorod, be careful. I heard the tunnels there are not safe.